If there is one thing I don't have in my setup is a ton of space. So over the time I've taken to improve my setup, I have also made sure that with every upgrade, I was making the most out of the little space I have. In this video, I'd like to share some of the upgrades I did to maximize my setup space. I don't think any of the things I'm going to talk about are groundbreaking by any means, but I've seen setups that overlook some of these ideas, and it's aimed to help those in a similar situation. I'm going to link everything I talk about down in the description. First, mount your monitors. If you can only do one upgrade, this is the one I recommend you do first. It is, in my opinion, one of the best upgrades that you can do to your setup. Not only you will recover a potentially absurd amount of space depending on how big your monitor's original stand is, but you will be able to place your monitors in a more comfortable position ergonomically. In my case, since I have two monitors, I have them stacked and placed them on separate arms. This monitor orientation wouldn't be possible without arms. On the topic of arms, if you have a dedicated microphone, please do not use the included stand. Not only is it cumbersome, but you are potentially losing out on better sound quality by not having the microphone closer to you, and the microphone itself absorbing all of your desk bumps. Consider adding a dedicated arm. The one I'm using is the Elgato low profile mic arm, which I really love because it doesn't block my monitors, nor is it directly on my face when I'm using it, like more traditional arms. This one isn't the cheapest at around $100, but you may also consider cheaper ones if you cannot stretch your budget. The next best upgrade that you can do to your setup is removing your PC from your desk. Blasphemy, I know. You're proud of your creation and you want to have it close to you. But honestly, that feeling eventually fades out and it becomes problematic having a huge desktop tower on your desk. Looking at you, O11 Dynamic, there are a few ways in which you can do this. In my case, I place my desktop under my desk on top of a CPU card with casters I bought from IKEA. This allowed me to not have the PC directly on the floor so it can breathe, but I can also move it around very easily in case I need to change something from the back of the motherboard or clean it. And you can also opt to have it on a separate space, like on top of an IKEA Alex drawer or something similar. On that same topic, if you have a laptop instead of a desktop, or you have the two of them like I do, you can also set your laptop on a separate stand as well on your desk. This allows the laptop to take a much smaller footprint that it would normally take, and you can simply connect your external monitors to it and use it that way. If you need to use the laptop screen, you can opt to have it on a stand to bring it to eye level, or even an arm like your monitors. Or if you want to save an even bigger amount of space, you can opt to have it under your desk using an under-desk laptop holder, and it will be completely out of sight. Next up, consider RGB lighting. Okay, hear me out. I was very much anti-RGB myself, but I realized that if I don't want to have a rainbow in my room, I can always set them to a solid color or a simple warm white to give the room a cozy vibe. This isn't necessarily just a space-saving upgrade, but more of an upgrade to your setup overall. RGB lighting accessories not only add a nice glow to your setup when working at late hours, but these alternatives can also have a much smaller footprint on your desk than their traditional counterparts. Lepro was kind enough to send me over a couple of their lamps and RGB strips for me to check out, and they have been a joy to use. The lamps I'm using can be controlled via their app or with Alexa. The light strip, however, doesn't work with these apps, so you have to use the provided controller to change its settings. I really wished it was compatible with their app as well, but it's not a big deal for now for me. I have set one of the lamps on a bookshelf to my right and the other on a wall shelf on my top left, as well as the light strips behind my desk. These, in addition to a pair of Govee light bars I have behind my top monitor, and a monitor light from Xiaomi give my room and my desk all the lighting it needs to work at late hours, or simply give the room a nice vibe, taking virtually zero space on my actual desk. Lastly, use your vertical space. I neglected this for the longest time, and I can honestly say I regret not doing this earlier. As someone who has a very limited amount of space on his room, this was a very welcome discovery for me. You can use your vertical space by adding a wall shelf, for example, like the one I have from IKEA. And this can really help with storage or decoration, which is how I'm currently using mine. I've added some fake plants and a few books I've read, as well as the RGB lamp I recently talked about. And it has really given my setup some nice depth. I also have an old bookshelf to my right, which I use to store my books as well as some other knickknacks I have on top of it. And that's it. These are the items I wanted to talk about. There's definitely more things I could have mentioned, but for now, these are the upgrades I've done myself that have made a significant impact in my setup. Let me know in the comments what other ideas you have in mind, or if you have questions about anything I talked about today. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video. It really helps out the channel, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos.